promise you, he is praising God in his brand new body. I promise you he is. And he comes up to him and says, look, you're better. Yeah, ooh, it's you. You're the one. Yep. He said, now, I just want to remind you, I want you to just live this life for God, because if you don't, we can mess things up again. No, it's good. I ain't going to mess up nothing. And he doesn't. And as far as we know, he's going to live this life. Because if you hear someone who made you better say, if you mess up, it'll be worse than before, and it was worse already, you don't want to do anything that's going to mess it up. Now, he's worshiping God because why? His needs were met. He was laying there hopeless, gets his needs met. After his needs are met, the first thing he does, he wants to worship God. That's where he's at. Jesus said, you know what Jesus didn't say? Get your mat, go worship in the temple. No one had to tell him go worship God after he's made well. After his needs were met, he wanted to worship God. As we are talking to people about Jesus Christ, can I tell you, some of them are so burdened, so many things going on in their life, so overwhelmed with their life circumstances, they can't even hear what you're saying because they got so many unmet needs. So how do we witness to them? You meet their needs first, then you share the love of Christ. Think, how does that work? Well, it became obviously to me on a couple occasions, one in Cuba. We were doing street events, walking through the streets of Cuba. And as we're going down an area that didn't have any houses, we're walking in another area. This guy on the side of the road, he had a wood table and a pile of beans, and he was selling beans. That's what he was doing. He was just selling these beans. There was a husband and wife there who were trying to get enough money together to buy a meal for the day. And they didn't have enough money. We walked by, and I talked to my interpreter, my translator. I said, what's going on here? And he explained everything to me. He said, well, this man is selling the beans, and this family doesn't have money for the beans, but they don't have any food. I said, do you mind if could I talk to him? Look, I went to go start witnessing to him. Guess what? They don't want to hear anything I had to say. Why? Because they don't even know if they're going to eat today, and you're going to tell them about Jesus. I said, oh, that ain't going to work. I called him aside. I called my translator. I said, come here. How much are those beans? He said, well, one CUC would feed them for a couple of days. That's their $1. $1 would feed them for a couple of days. I said, what if I buy them a couple of days' worth of food? He said, oh, that'd be a good thing. I said, do you think they'll listen to me? Oh, they'll listen to anything you say after that. So I go back over there, and I give the money to the guys. Please give them their beans for this much. And she starts crying. The lady starts crying. And she can't believe that they're going to eat today. And then I share the gospel, and both of them accept Jesus Christ. What's the difference? Before their needs were met, they couldn't even focus on the gospel. After they had their needs met, they wanted to hear the gospel. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes we go out and we just want to save the world and lead people to Christ, and we forget that sometimes the people we're coming to are so hurt and so beat down and so overburdened that they can't even comprehend what you're saying because their mind is overwhelmed with everything on their plate. Sometimes they're just trying to get through the day. And now you want to add one more thing to it? Sometimes they can't focus on the things of God because their needs haven't been met. Now, I'm not talking about the social gospel. The social gospel is just take care of their needs and everything will work out. That's not what I'm talking about. But if you're ministering to people and you can see there's some needs that you can do something about, why don't you meet their needs first, love on them, and then they'll want to hear what you have to say. You know, this is what Jesus was teaching disciples. Did it work? Oh, yeah. Guess what happened after Jesus rose from the dead and after Peter and John are going to the temple? Guess what happens? They walk up. Here's this lame man outside the temple, and he says, silver and gold I have none, but what I have I do give to you. Rise up and walk. They saw a man, met his needs. Then he's jumping around in the temple praising God. And here's this principle he's teaching them. If you meet the needs of people first, they'll want to hear the gospel. If you want to share the gospel, see if they have needs you can meet. If you can meet their needs, you earn the right to be heard.